Shalom, I'm Mitch Glaser, president of Chosen People Ministries. As we prepare to celebrate Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, I want to reflect on something that may not immediately come to mind during this season. And that's the whole idea that faith requires risk. During Rosh Hashanah, Jewish communities traditionally read what's known as the akedah. That's a Hebrew word which means the binding, and it refers to Isaac's binding in Genesis chapter 22. If you remember, it's a powerful story that speaks directly to the heart of our relationship with the Lord. When God called Abraham, he didn't hesitate. He simply responded with hineni, a Hebrew word that means here am I. And Abraham listened, and more importantly, he obeyed, even when God asked him to do what was absolutely unthinkable. God told Abraham to take his only son, Isaac, Yitzchak, the son he loves, up to Mount Moriah and to offer him as a sacrifice. God is asking him to surrender everything. And yet Abraham didn't question God. He didn't delay action. He simply obeyed. He woke up early the next morning, prepared for the journey, and walked in obedience with his son. Abraham had waited years for Isaac. He was this son of promise through whom God said he would create a great nation. Yet here was a command that seemed to contradict everything God had promised. With the death of Isaac would come the death of the promises. When Isaac asked, as he walked up the mountain, "Where is the lamb for the offering?" Abraham replied, "God will provide." He didn't know how, but he believed that God would make a way, and he was absolutely right. At the very last moment, God stopped Abraham from plunging a knife into the heart of his son and provided a ram caught in the thicket. Friends, this is a powerful image of God's provision and of his mercy. The akedah is a foreshadowing of what God was going to do all along. That is, to provide an everlasting sacrifice for the atonement of sins. Man cannot provide a sacrifice that is perfect because we're imperfect. Only God can, and he did through his only begotten Son, Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Messiah, who came like the ram, was perfect, and took Isaac's place. He took our place, essentially, on the altar so that we might live holy lives as new creations. Rosh Hashanah is also called Yom Teruah, the day of the blowing. In Leviticus chapter 23, that's exactly what the Hebrew means. The piercing sound of the ram horn breaks through our routine and reminds us of the ram that God provided in Isaac's place and in our place, so to speak. It reminds us that God is faithful and that he always provides. But so often we won't experience that provision until we step out in faith and obedience. So here's the principle. Faith does not guarantee safety, and it doesn't always make sense, but it's the only way to truly follow God. Abraham followed God without asking too many questions. We need to be on a hair trigger when it comes to obedience. We need to have our yes actually come out of our mouths before our minds even understand what God wants us to do. Simply put, faith requires risk. And the Lord calls us to take these risks. He invites us into a life of boldness and trust and obedience and a depth of relationship with our Creator that only comes when we're willing to risk it all for Jesus. We say among Jewish people, "May your name be inscribed in the book of life." We dip apples in honey. We eat round challah, the bread that we usually eat on the Sabbath, with raisins to symbolize the sweetness of the new year and the circle of life. Rosh Hashanah is an opportunity. It's a moment for all of us to reflect on the one who assures our place in the Lamb's book of life. Jesus is not only the fulfillment of God's promise, he provides the assurance of forgiveness through his sacrifice. Unlike rituals or traditions, which are so beautiful this season, his invitation is open every day of the year, and this relationship with God is always available to all people, Jews and Gentiles, through Jesus the Messiah. So join me in praying. Please pray for the Jewish people around the world, and especially in Israel, where people are celebrating the holiday But we all know that there is no peace yet. And so we need to pray for the peace of Jerusalem, that maybe this year will bring an end to the war with Hamas and freedom for the remaining hostages. In the last 131 years, Chosen People Ministries has served the same all-powerful, loving God who provided a ram for Abraham and continues to provide a substitutionary sacrifice for Jews and Gentiles today through the death and resurrection of his Son. So let us grab on to hope during these challenging times, knowing that God's appointed times are for everyone seeking his faithfulness. As we say in Hebrew, Shana Tova, have a good year. And all of us at Chosen People Ministries wish you God's richest blessings in this new year. And may he continue to show you his faithfulness through his Son, Jesus, the Messiah. If you love the God of Israel and the people of Israel and the Messiah of Israel, then you'll want to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We hope that you'll continue to receive videos from Chosen People Ministries. We have new ones all the time, and we want to bless you with what God is doing among the Jewish people. And so, shalom and God bless you, and thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channel.